Man, it is always something with this lady. It is always something, even in a blowout. I mean, this lady just can't get right. Yeah, just can't get right. Stephanie White absolutely blew up on the bench, crash out right in front of Caitlin Clark again. And for whatever reason, this only seems to happen.
The absolute boundary of professional sports regulation has officially collapsed into a state of unprecedented executive warfare. And the entire multi-billion-dollar athletic ecosystem is currently reeling from a historic live national television intervention that has permanently terminated the career of head coach Stephanie White. What was supposed to be a standard highly competitive match against the Las Vegas Aces instantly transformed into an unmanaged corporate crime scene as years of deep-seated internal hostility, locker room sabotage, and blatant administrative harassment finally detonated in front of millions of stunned viewers. Tonight, we are exposing the terrifying frame-by-frame breakdown of the exact moment head coach Stephanie White suffered a complete psychological crash on Caitlin Clark directly on the Indiana bench, triggering an immediate direct emergency response from WNBA Commissioner Adam Silver himself. Bypassing every single traditional bureaucratic protocol, Silver personally descended onto the court on live television, delivering an immediate non-negotiable termination notice that has left the disgraced coach crying in absolute ruin on the arena floor. But the true atomic bomb dropped just minutes later when a fiercely emotional Caitlin Clark officially announced her immediate departure from the franchise, delivering a chilling farewell statement that has permanently destroyed what little remained of Stephanie White's professional reputation. The corporate protection shields have completely disintegrated. The fake public relations excuses are officially useless. And the definitive countdown to the total liquidation of this toxic regime has officially reached zero. To truly comprehend why the commissioner was forced to execute such a brutal public career execution, we must first examine the shocking raw details of the final bench confrontation that broke the internet for months. The coaching staff operated under the arrogant assumption that they could systematically suppress the greatest economic asset in basketball history without facing personal accountability or fan-led retaliation. But as the pressure of the Las Vegas Aces offensive system intensified, the carefully masked professional jealousy of Stephanie White completely erupted into open, unhinged rage on live television.
Story here seems to be Stephanie White blowing up, potentially at Caitlin Clark on the bench here once again. We're going to get into the footage, man. Just can't get right, man. Can't get right, Stephanie White. All right. Oh, yeah, she losing it. Oh, yeah, she's snapping. Yeah, she's pissed. Now, a lot of people are saying she was crashing out on Caitlin Clark again. This is in the beginning of that third quarter when Caitlin Clark was in and the Las Vegas Aces made their run. Caitlin Clark, I believe she had a turnover. And you see Stephanie White just snap. And I'll show you Caitlin Clark is sitting right here. This is Caitlin Clark right here. You see her drinking a Gatorade bottle right here. This is Caitlin Clark. And Stephanie White is absolutely losing it. And you see Caitlin Clark right there. When she leans forward, you could tell that's her right here.
In a sequence of events that has horrified team sponsors worldwide, White launched an aggressive, screaming verbal assault against Caitlin Clark, forcing her back onto the bench in a desperate attempt to humiliate her and sabotage her historic momentum. This was not tactical coaching. This was a visible, toxic display of targeted administrative harassment designed to break the spirit of a generational star. As Clark sat on the bench in silent disbelief, the global audience watched in absolute disgust as the franchise's leadership chose personal, petty spite over competitive integrity, officially crossing a line that no corporate entity could ever defend. While the stadium security and arena staff frantically scrambled to contain the immediate fallout of White's bench meltdown, an unprecedented corporate intervention was being authorized from the highest level of sports governance. Watching the toxic scene unfold on the live broadcast, WNBA Commissioner Adam Silver immediately recognized that the financial and moral credibility of the entire league was actively being destroyed by the unchecked incompetence of the Indiana coaching staff. Refusing to wait for end-of-season evaluations or bureaucratic board reviews, Silver executed a historic executive power play, descending directly onto the court to personally handle the crisis.
And is this thing beyond repair at this point? This thing could just be beyond repair. And some people just feel like, hey man, this thing is over. I mean, it just is what it is. I don't really see things getting better or changing with Stephanie White. And I don't know. But Skip Bayless took to his YouTube and he wanted to address a lot of the vitriol, a lot of the hate and the nastiness that has been aimed in Caitlin Clark's way, because make no mistake about it, it's been absolutely disgusting. It's been disgusting the way this league has treated the person that got everybody rich, essentially, the way they've handled her, the jealousy, the envy, the hate. It's been nasty, to say the least. I mean, that's just the real. That's just the real, people. Like, we got to call it like we see it. Skip Bayless went on to address this. Let's check it out.
And I'm saying, she's your golden goose, man. I said this 1,000 times the first 2 years. How can you women not see how much she's done for you? You were flying coach and now you got team planes.
Yeah.
You're playing before packed houses.
Y'all was sitting next to Tom, Dick, and Harry on flights. Caitlin Clark popped up. Everybody got private flights. All flights private as soon as she popped up. Y'all got $1 million contract, all types of stuff that y'all would not have gotten this quickly. I know y'all like to run to say, oh no, we were seeing, incremental year-over-year growth. Well, damn it went from incremental to exponential, goddamn it. She went and turned this whole thing up. Now everybody is eating. Everybody is eating because of Caitlin.
In a shocking moment that has permanently changed the legal leverage of professional athletes, the commissioner confronted the Indiana front office and delivered a brutal immediate termination directive. Stephanie White was officially fired on the spot, stripped of her credentials and escorted out of the active team area on live national television, proving to sports organizations worldwide that the era of executive gaslighting and worker intimidation is officially dead. But the absolute climax of this historic evening occurred during the post-game media blackout when Caitlin Clark finally broke her silence and delivered the ultimate devastating blow to her former coach.
It affects me a little bit more than I do put on, and I would never change any of that for the world, but I think it's important that people do remember that part of it too. So, at the same time, it's really interesting to me because, even I turned the TV on Sunday, and that game was on Wednesday, and that's all people are still talking about, and I feel like that's just a real disservice to our league. And I get it. You talk about it. You talk about whether it's flagrant. You talk about whatever it is. But to continue to beat down, and then for the narrative to be taken other places that is really just that's just really not acceptable, I think it's hard to see, and it's a disservice to my team, but it's also a disservice to the other teams in this league and the other players in this league. There's so much amazing talent, and there's so many amazing players that are playing at an incredibly high rate, and I remember, I think it was Sunday or Saturday, whatever day that was. I remember watching them discuss it on.
Standing before a packed room of stunned reporters, Clark officially announced that she was walking away from the toxic environment, delivering a jaw-dropping farewell statement that has sent shockwaves through the corporate offices of the league. With tears in her eyes, Clark openly declared, "She ruined me. She tried to destroy everything we built, exposing the systemic behind-the-scenes betrayal, broken promises, and targeted isolation she was forced to endure under Stephanie White's regime."
What he said. Caitlin Clark did not build the WNBA. The WNBA was built on the backs of many people who came before Caitlin Clark, most of them being sisters, meaning black ladies.
That's irrelevant.
The Cynthia Coopers, the Sher.
That's actually irrelevant. The race that they were is irrelevant. That's the WNBA's problem. The race of whoever built the WNBA is irrelevant. Do you see NBA players saying the NBA was built off of white guys? I mean, come on. What conversations are we having?
Cheryl Swoops of the world.
Oh, George Mikan. No,
Lisa Leslie's of the world. Maya Moore's of the world. List goes on and on. Don't get me wrong. I ain't forget Diana Taurasi. One of the GOATs. I ain't forget about her. I ain't forget about Sue Bird. I ain't forget about Breonna Stewart. I certainly ain't gonna forget about Sabrina Ionescu. I'm not gonna forget about any of these other players. But you got a lot of sisters that have balled in the WNBA for years, that made the WNBA what it was. And don't get me started with Asia Wilson.
What did they make it? What did they make it other than a business that feeds, that steals money, essentially? What did they make it other than a business that wasn't profitable? That's a genuine question that I want people to actually answer. What did they make it? They didn't do anything for the WNBA other than just play in it. In terms of bringing attention and eyeballs and profitability to it, they didn't do anything. You can argue the founding fathers of the WNBA, like Cheryl Swoops and Cooper and them, you can argue that
Clark's unfiltered confession did not just validate the fans' worst fears. It completely demolished the coaching staff's remaining professional credibility, transforming White from a disgraced coach into an absolute institutional outcast. This historic departure has plunged the Indiana franchise into a state of total unmanaged panic, forcing primary sponsors to immediately withdraw their marketing budgets to avoid being associated with the radioactive fallout of this unprecedented executive scandal. The modern landscape of professional women's athletic entertainment has officially crossed a definitive point of no return, proving that no coach, executive, or bureaucratic entity is safe from absolute accountability when they choose to abuse and suppress generational talent. A historic fan-up-supported intervention executed by Adam Silver has established a monumental new standard for athlete protection, ensuring that Caitlin Clark and future stars will never again be held hostage by the toxic envy of mediocre leadership. The old ways of institutional silencing have been violently dismantled on live television.
Their players, they turn into fucking Ray Charles when Caitlin Clark tries to pass the ball to them. Screw all of you, Caitlin Clark. Leave this trash of an organization. Get bent, clowns. Woo! Yay, the coach of the year. You beat the Aces without Asia Wilson. Hooray. Did you edit out all the ums? Yeah. They would have lost if Asia was playing. Stephanie White is so unprofessional, she didn't even memorize the script. She had to have it in her hand. It's a fixed game. I mean, wow. Stephanie White definitely threw shade at Caitlin Clark here. I wouldn't even say it was subtle. Agreed. It's crazy. This is why I could never put a jealous in charge of a star. Too damn petty, a jealous coach. Your first statement is to throw shade at CC, that you're proud of your slow-ass system getting a win, slow, low-scoring, non-entertaining, stagnant methany ball. By the way, Austin Kelly's offense, yeah, I said Austin Kelly's, not Stephanie White's. Austin Kelly's offense, scoring real points. Y'all threw up 84 last night.